making something fun, delicious, and a sweet treat. So the dish itself was supposed to be a coconut chocolate mousse, but unfortunately I couldn't get the recipe down perfectly, so we're gonna do something a little bit different and a little bit more enjoyable because I'd hate to give you something that's just meh. So instead we're making a coconut chocolate pudding. And it's going to be a very simple recipe, so follow along. It's going to be very quick too, so if you're joining in right now, just hang tight. I promise. It'll be brief, but hopefully it'll be enough information, and if you have any questions, feel free to drop them below. If you're on YouTube, make sure to follow us on our channel, and if you hit the bell, you'll be able to be notified when we go live for any other cooking class that we do. And every Thursday at 1 p.m., we go live to cook something. So let's get started here. Let's change up our camera angles a little bit. We'll go over the ingredients quickly, briefly. To start off, we're going to be using some coconut milk. This is native forest. There's no guar gum or any extra ingredients in this, which makes it nice. It's the cleanest you can get out of a can, I think. We have some coconut sugar. You can opt out to take this out if you don't need it to. Sorry, you can opt this out completely if you don't want sugar. We have some cocoa powder here, some vanilla extract. You can use a vanilla bean. And then we have, for extra, this is extra, we have a banana and some kefir. This is going to be, this isn't a part of the recipe per se, but it's going to be in addition to. Okay, so let's get rock and rolling. We're going to open our coconuts milk up first real quick. Very hard, right? This is very hard to do. We have now milked the coconut. We're going to add it to a pot. And we're going to heat it up. Just want to bring it to a boil. But we're going to add everything else inside while it's coming up to temperature. So we have the cocoa powder we're going to add in. This is 2 teaspoons. That was 1 can of coconut milk. So it's pretty easy. If you have any coconut milk you like, you can use that. If you're making your own coconut milk at home, which God bless you if you do, it's going to be 13.5 fluid ounces. Now we're going to add our sugar. This is 3 tablespoons of coconut sugar. Like I said, you don't need to add this if you aren't like really jiving with sugar or you're trying to take it out of your diet. The coconut itself is naturally sweet, and it will be very good without this. So we're just going to add that in. This is going to be 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I probably shouldn't have added that in, but it's going to be fine. And then we have these 2 gelatin sheets. If you don't have gelatin sheets, you can use powdered gelatin. I will make sure that I add a ratio into the recipe later.
Can I interrupt? Sorry. I'm not seeing you live on YouTube.
Huh?
I'm not seeing you live on YouTube. I see it on Instagram, but not on YouTube.
Maybe you should refresh your page.
So I'll check my computer.
Anyway, we're going to take these 2 gelatin sheets here. We're going to put them in some ice water because they need to be bloomed. They need to accept some sort of liquid. And when you're doing that, just make sure you like submerge them all the way. You can see right here they're kind of popping out of the bowl. You can just kind of fold them over or move them around. They'll start looking like this after a while. These are 2 sheets that I pre-soaked ahead of time. And you're going to soak them for about, what did I write here? 3 to 5 minutes or until they become like this, malleable. And then we have our coconut milk coming up to a boil. We're gonna just turn that off right now and just make sure it's nice and whisked together. Well, Jen, it says we're live. So, hey guys, hold on real quick. I'm trying to fix something apparently. Jen, it says we're live. 6 minutes and 12 seconds. It's because it's unlisted, that's why. Just fixing something really quick. It's fine, we'll deal with it later. I don't have the time for this. All right, so oh my God. Well, that was a mistake that just happened because I wasn't looking clearly, made it my fault. So now that you made a mess, you're gonna take your gelatin sheets, wring them out, put them inside your hot liquid. Your flame will be off right now. And you're just going to stir it in until it starts to dissolve. Once it's dissolved, you're going to get your jars that you're trying to put them into. Like you use a bowl, a jar, whatever you want to put them in to eat it out of later. Let's do this bowl. I made a huge mess. All right, so we have that, we have our bowl. We're going to take a banana and we're going to chop this up. This is extra, this is in addition to. So if you're making this pudding, you can put whatever you want on the bottom of your container. So I have some coconut kefir here. This is going to give me a lot of richness. It's flavored with vanilla bean, so it's richness, it's tart. It has a lot of probiotics in it. And then we're going to chop up our banana. You can use any fruit, or you can just put the kefir on the bottom by itself. Just make sure that you cool down your chocolate. Make sure you cool down your chocolate base before doing so. And I know I just put this into the bowl we're going to be using, but we have more bowls. All right, so what I'm doing here is just mixing it up so it's combined. Kind of like mashing it up a little bit. I want to have texture with the bananas. So I'm just kind of like chopping them with my spoon. Kind of like when you make kind of like when you make guacamole. As you chop it up more, it starts to thicken up more. But you want that like banana texture too. All right, so we have another bowl. And we're going to spoon in our bananas and kefir. Right? At the same time, I want to be able to pour this in without it getting messed up. So we're going to do this. No, we're not going to do this. we're gonna take this bowl, and we're just gonna cool it down to break, we're gonna cool it down to break the heat off of it. So when we pour it into the kefir, it doesn't take away from the probiotics or start mixing into it and making like a mutiny. Now, if you don't stir this with a spoon or a whisk, and you're using like a metal bowl on top of like ice water, it's going to start to get really hard on the outside, and you'll start having like chunks of chocolate pudding, and we definitely don't want that. So make sure you continue to stir it so it doesn't start getting very chunky. And I'm going to just cool it down to where like it's cool to touch. It's not going to be extremely cold. Some of you might use different things to thicken your puddings. I think gelatin's good. Gelatin's good for you, actually. And if you can't have gelatin, you can, I guess, what could you do instead? Maybe we can add a whole avocado in here instead. But it's starting to get a little thicker. Let's see if it's cool to touch. All right, it's cooled down a lot. We're going to add it in right now. So now we're going to just throw it into the fridge. You can put plastic wrap on top or parchment paper, whatever you prefer, so that you don't get this layer of skin. And then we're going to put it into the fridge. Once you're done, this is one I made yesterday, but it's got way more gelatin than we need, so this is a great example of what not to do. You can see that I have the layers, oops, some fell out. Layers of the banana and kefir, and then you have all this mousse on top. I actually tried whipping it in my KitchenAid to make it fluffier, but you can tell it's a little too gelatinous. So this was, I think, 4 sheets of gelatin for 1 can, and I also has, and then also was whipped. So by using 2 sheets, it's going to be completely fine. And again, I'll leave that conversion once I do the calculations for powder gelatin after we get done today. But this is very good. If you're just joining right now, you missed a huge spill. It's good though. So you can use a mason jar, you can use a bowl, whatever you like, and make sure to tag us when you make this at home if you choose to. If it's working out for you, if you have questions, if you're having some troubleshooting, just hit us up. And then, what else do I have to talk about? The next week we're doing another recipe, but I don't know what we're doing yet. So if you have any ideas of what you'd like to see, make sure you add it in the comments below. And if you see one of my posts with the spinning wheel, those are all recipes that people have suggested us to do. And each week I'll randomly pick one. And this is the one we picked this week. So last week was a mushroom kebab. This week was coconut chocolate pudding, AKA whipped chocolate mousse. And I'll see you guys next time. So thank you so much for joining, and I'll catch you later.